How does anything have value? Where does value come from?
Value is what someone is willing to pay for something, or how difficult that thing is to come by. Like money, gold, etc.
Like Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is different. Yes, it has a value, but a technological value.
What is that? And why is it so expensive then?
Technological value is an advancement that brings about great possibilities. Like invention of the wheel, breaking the sound barrier, invention of the computer. This is just the beginning. Bitcoin is the same as a pioneer.
But isn't Bitcoin like money?
Yes, Bitcoin is exactly like money. But the main difference between Bitcoin value and the value of normal money, a fiat currency, is backed by that currency's country central bank. For example, you can be confident that exchanging your item for its value in US dollars, you can go to the store in a month and that dollar's value is not affected that much. This is called fluctuation. Bitcoin currently is susceptible to huge fluctuation because, like you mentioned before, how can
something, an equation, that was worth 0.00000000 cents 15 years ago be worth thousands today?
As you eloquently put it, it's worth this because people are willing to pay it because they think since they missed out on the original 3,000% gains. It is going to reach $100,000, so they think they need to get in on it now. This is called fear of missing out.
What?
In the olden days, people traded by exchanging tools, food, animals, and clothing. This progressed to gold and silver coins. Later, after governments and states were established, central banks were formed. People were forced to exchange their gold and silver for a piece of paper that represented the value of the gold they sold to the central bank.
I see. But how can something that was worth 0.00000000 cents 15 years ago be worth thousands now?
Bitcoin is very valuable, but not as much as people are paying. But there are very clever people that saw a chance to make a lot of money. Because Bitcoin is not regulated.
What? Regulated?
Yes, regulated. Ever watch The Wolf of Wall Street?
Nope.
In financial markets, creating a buzz or spreading false information to manipulate stock prices is generally considered illegal and falls under market manipulation. This unethical practice can involve spreading false rumors, engaging in pump and dump schemes, or other activities aimed at artificially inflating or deflating the price of a security. It's important to note that engaging in such activities is against the law in many jurisdictions, and regulatory bodies closely monitor and investigate potential instances of market manipulation to maintain the integrity of financial markets.
So, how do they do it with Bitcoin?
Just to say yes would be too simple. Let me explain how it all started. Some dude called Satoshi Nakamoto, in or around 2008 or 2009, released a white paper on Bitcoin, a decentralized, trustless digital currency to help the marginalized. The Unbankable.
I know those. The great unwashed, rejected by high street banks, right?
Correct. This is what makes Bitcoin so powerful and important.
So market manipulators hijacked Bitcoin because it is not regulated.
Initially, it was bitter fun. Monopoly money, some would call it. Until 2014, when real players got involved.
Oh, real players, like they decided to hype Bitcoin while it was cheap and they bought loads.
Young Sparrow, you are now the master. Market manipulators saw the potential and began to create a buzz. What they cannot do on traditional stock exchanges, they could do on cryptocurrencies Wild West, gung-ho shoot from the hip exchanges. At its retail peak, they made a lot of money.
But if they already made money, surely they have left now after the first crush.
Not at all. Their biggest achievement is institutional investors. Trillions of cold hard cash from investment funds, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, you name it.
What?
Market manipulators' biggest prize would be roping in institutional investors' cash. They have bags of it, from pension funds to trusts. They have the largest capital reserves.
What? Shut the front door! So when they buy Bitcoin, it goes high, and the market manipulators sell their Bitcoin for huge profits.
Correct. And the funny thing is, individuals buying this on the new ETF will not be allowed to do what? Let's see if you paid attention.
Cannot self-custody their Bitcoin.
Yes. Two?
Has to be cash funded. They cannot withdraw the Bitcoin, and it is kept in a pool.
Correct. And why is this a bad thing?
The big companies can issue more Bitcoin ETF than Bitcoin they actually hold.
You have flown wisely indeed, young sparrow. This would in turn bring about another crash, after which they will do what?
Introduce something that is centralized. Something all governments in the world can monitor and control. So you keep saying Bitcoin is valuable. What is its value in your opinion?
Bitcoin has a value. It is actually our preferred method of payment where I work.
Nice office, you were saying?
Oh, yes. Bitcoin is fantastic. We use it every day, even though we only introduced it a year ago.
Why is it so good?
If a customer pays you through the bank, you have to chase it up with the bank. Can never be certain the money will not be charged back. Banks charge high fees.
Is that it?
Bitcoin is secure, requires no trust, and instant.
Thanks for showing me around your office.
You are welcome.
Although you still haven't told me what you think Bitcoin is worth.
If I say it, you will think I'm crazy. I think, a guess at this point, it will settle between 5,000 and 7,000 British pounds. In the next 12 months, to that amount, I think.
What between 5,000 and 7,000 of his king's finest British pounds, you say?
Because Bitcoin is very valuable and has great potential in the right hands. It will always be an important tool for settling international deals, without having to rely on banks, and most importantly, trust.
If you are so sure, why doesn't it crash to zero?
Because Bitcoin is very valuable and has great potential in the right hands. It will always be an important tool for settling international deals, without having to rely on banks, and most importantly, trust.
What?
I told you. Now you think I am crazy.
Enough about work. Shall we go for dinner? I'm hungry. Your eyes sparkle under the moonlight.
And you say I am the crazy one.
Who is the mysterious listener eavesdropping on Carla and Carlo? Subscribe for the next exciting installment.